excited, yes. You young people don't know what it was like.
It's official. After leaving more than 2 decades ago, the WNBA is coming back to Portland. This morning, the league announced that the Rose City has been awarded its 15th franchise. Thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. We don't know what the team's name is yet, but we do know that they'll start play 2 years from now in 2026. Ashley Grams has been following this story for us since the news broke earlier this morning. She joins us live now outside the Moda Center. Ashley, it actually looks like you might be inside. No, okay, outside the Moda Center. What do you have for us here this afternoon?
Well, Portland's WNBA team will hit the court here at Moda Center in 2026. Some of that new signage already going up. You can see the Moda Center decked out here. The league is expanding, and Portland is just one of 3 cities gaining a franchise in the next 2 years. But it's been 22 years since Portland had a WNBA team. Right now, you're looking at video of that team from the year 2000. They were called the Portland Fire. That franchise folded in 2002 after just 3 seasons and 0 playoff appearances. But the ownership group bringing professional women's basketball back to the Rose City is led by the Bethal family. They also own the Portland Thorns. This morning, we talked with some Portlanders about the new team. They were all happy to hear it.
It's wonderful that we're actually having our WNBA team coming. It's a more professional sports team, not just Portland Trailblazers.
Anytime women's sports gets any kind of thing. I grew up in an era where there were no women's sports, even in high school.
My niece was a basketball player at Pepperdine and really enjoyed watching that, so this may get me back into the game.
Well, there's definitely more to come on this team. We still don't know a team name. We haven't seen a logo, but we hope to get more details about that this afternoon. The new ownership group, the Bethal family, is hosting a press conference. We will stream that press conference live at 2:30 on KGW.com. Now, there's also a celebration happening right here in the Rose Quarter. They're actually getting ready for it right now. If you'd like to come out, celebrate this announcement, you can do that from 4 to 7 tonight. China. Drew.
Ashley, thank you. And Oregon Governor Tina Kotek is reacting to the news of the new team, congratulating the Rose City and people who are making the team a reality.
Portland is ready for this next sports franchise. And this is a big deal for all the young girls who are playing basketball and other sports right now.
We have a lot more on the story coming up in our newscast later this afternoon and evening with team coverage of Portland's new WNBA team. That coverage tips off during KGW News at 4.
Our other top stories this afternoon: Boeing has initiated furloughs for a large number of its U.S.-based employees.
The company is calling it a cost-saving move as it prepares for the possibility of a long-term strike by its workers in the Machinists Union. In a letter to Boeing employees this morning, CEO Kelly Ortberg said selected employees will take a 1-week furlough every 4 weeks on a rolling basis. This plan will last for the duration of the strike. All employee benefits, though, will continue. The CEO also said that he and his leadership team will take a commensurate pay reduction for the duration of the strike.
A heads up for drivers: both directions of 99W are closed at Rock Creek due to a fatal crash involving multiple vehicles. The crash is 2 miles north of Sherwood. ODOT confirmed just minutes ago that 1 person had died and another was injured but is expected to survive. ODOT is warning that this could be a lengthy closure and is recommending drivers avoid the area.
Portland police are investigating after a woman died from what they believe was a hit and run this morning in Northeast Portland. Around 2:30 a.m., officers found the woman in the road near Northeast 85th and Fremont. Police say she was already dead when they got there, and her injuries look like she had been hit by a car. They also released this photo of the vehicle that investigators believe was involved in this deadly hit and run. It's described as a teal and white mid-90s Ford F-250 with a super cab.
A man is dead after being hit by a railroad train this morning near Aloha. Just after 5 a.m., Washington County Sheriff's deputies responded to reports that a man had been hit by a train near the intersection of Southwest Tualatin Valley Highway and Southwest 198th Avenue. First responders tried to save his life, but the man did not survive.
For the 3rd time in the past 2 months, human remains have been found in the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest in southwest Washington. Officials believe they'll be able to identify 2 of the people, but they're still working to figure out the 3rd. This past Saturday, the Skamania County Sheriff's Office found what it believes are the remains of 69-year-old John Hopkins from the Seattle area. He went missing in November of 2022. Earlier this month, a bear hunter found human remains near the Sawtooth Berry Fields. And then last month, near the big lava beds, a hiker found what are believed to be the remains of missing hiker Christopher Zidovitz.
Being able to bring closure to a family and bringing somebody home, even if it's only a portion of them, I can't imagine what kind of relief and, closure that they are able to experience.
Officials say they have no reason to think that any of these cases are connected. The sheriff's office says it has a list of at least a dozen other people who have been reported missing in the forest dating back to the mid-1980s. Traffic alert for you this afternoon. The Stark Street Bridge that crosses the Sandy River in Troutdale is now closed until further notice. County officials say one of the bridge's stone support walls partially collapsed, so drivers who need to cross the Sandy River in that part of town will have to use the Sandy River Bridge that's closer to I-84.
Oregon is getting a $43 million boost from the federal government to help cover the cost of road repairs due to natural disasters. It will reimburse the state for what it spent over the last 5 years fixing roads damaged by flooding, winter storms, and landslides. The U.S. Forest Service is also getting a portion of the money for repairs made to forest roads. And Washington is getting about $5.5 million to cover the cost of repairs following storms in 2020 and 2021. Nurses in Clackamas County will now be handling some 911 calls in an effort to free up resources for the most critical emergencies. So this is meant as a short-term solution to the ongoing shortage of paramedics and first responders. Instead of being sent an ambulance, some callers with less serious calls might be transferred to a nurse navigator, someone licensed and trained to provide the most appropriate kind of care. If an operator determines that an ambulance isn't necessary, a nurse will offer assistance like referring patients to a clinic, primary care, or scheduling appointments. Last year, Clark County dispatchers launched a similar program.
The Oregon Heart Center filed a $15 million antitrust and defamation lawsuit against Salem Health, alleging that the health system has resorted to intimidation tactics, false information, and anti-competitive conduct to take over the market. Salem Health operates the only hospital in Salem with one of the busiest emergency rooms on the West Coast. The Oregon Heart Center says Salem Health is trying to force it to either become part of the hospital or go away altogether. A spokesperson for Salem Health says it was only made aware of this litigation last week and does not have a comment at this time. Local dessert shop 1927 Smores abruptly closed its doors on Sunday and says it will stay closed until further notice. Meanwhile, several brides who booked the business for their upcoming weddings received an email last week saying that their orders were canceled, and it looks like none of these brides will get their deposits back until the company raises enough money for a relaunch. The former COO, who was laid off from the company, says this news was shocking to everyone, including himself.
This team, I and myself care so much. It's the worst possible outcome.
The company's owner has not returned any of our calls or emails, but the company did send a letter to its customers saying that it hopes to relaunch here in the next few weeks. All right, Rod Hill is standing by for us in the Weather Center. Rod, what's happening there behind you this afternoon?
And the answer is not very much. We have a nice, quiet, almost fall day. Of course, fall begins officially with the autumnal equinox this coming Sunday morning local time at 5:23. Some cloudiness over northeastern Oregon, but for the most part, that's staying dry. We do have a mix of low clouds on the west side of Oregon and Washington that are just now starting to break up in more spots than not. Cannon Beach, this had some cloudiness until about an hour ago, then it really started to pop out, so that's going to be a beautiful afternoon. 62 degrees there along the north coast. You can see the skies now becoming partly cloudy over downtown from our Rose City camera, and we are where we thought we'd be at noon in the mid-60s, and a couple more locations. You go down to Oregon City over the end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center, and that is finally starting to break out of the clouds of partly cloudy conditions as well. So I have a nice afternoon for you. All of your outdoor plans are a go. 70 at 2 o'clock, probably mostly sunny as the day gets to 5 o'clock. 74 degrees at that time. A nice dry evening will be 67 at 8 p.m. The 7-day forecast, which if you haven't heard, does include an 84-degree day. That's coming up in just a bit.